Let's jump right into our complete care guide for the Ember Tetra. If you're looking to add a literal burst of fiery color to your home freshwater aquarium, these strikingly bright, active little fish are an absolutely brilliant choice. Today, we're covering exactly how to keep them thriving. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll be hitting profile, size, and lifespan, then tank setup and water parameters. Next up is aquascape, plants, and substrate, followed by diet, behavior, and mates. Then we'll cover sexing and breeding basics and wrap up with health and beginner mistakes.
Section 1. Profile, size, and lifespan. Fast facts for the Fire Tetra. Let's look at exactly what you're bringing into your tank.
These fast facts really highlight just how manageable these fish are. We're talking about a fish that maxes out at just 0.6 to 0.8 inches long. They live up to 2 years. And thanks to that tiny footprint and their unfussy omnivore diet, they fall solidly into the easy care level category.
Moving on to Section 2, tank setup and water parameters. Building the perfect foundation. Let's build out their physical environment.
You're going to need a 10-gallon tank at an absolute minimum. Now, I know what you might be thinking. They aren't even an inch long. Why 10 gallons? Well, it's because these guys are energetic, fast swimmers. They really need that horizontal space to dart around and explore. A 10-gallon setup gives them the exact runway they crave.
The trick here is to faithfully recreate their native Brazilian rivers. You'll want to lock your water temperature in between 68 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit, maintain a slightly acidic to neutral pH of 5.5 to 7, and keep that water hardness strictly under 18 DH. Since they naturally hang out in slow-moving tributaries, you've got to keep the flow gentle. A silent sponge filter is absolutely perfect for this. Pair that with consistent water renewals, and you're golden.
All right, Section 3, aquascape, plants, and substrate. Decorating the habitat. Now comes the fun part, creating a heavily planted oasis.
To build the ultimate riverbed, follow these 4 steps. First, go with a dark substrate. It's not just a design choice. That dark background makes their vibrant red and orange colors pop like crazy. Step 2, toss in some dry leaves. As they break down, they introduce beneficial bacteria into your mini ecosystem. Third, plant dense greenery around the edges. Think Java moss, Java fern, and hornwort to give them shelter. Finally, step 4, leave the middle section wide open. They love cruising in the middle of the water column, so give them that unobstructed space.
Which brings us to Section 4, diet, behavior, and mates. Feeding and socializing. Now that the tank is ready, let's talk daily care.
Here's a really cool tip. A diverse diet is the absolute secret to unlocking their brightest colors. To keep those fiery hues looking their best, offer a mix of finely crushed dry flakes or granules alongside live or frozen treats like Artemia, Daphnia, or grindleworms. They'll even graze on natural plant microbes in the tank. The golden rule here? Feed them tiny portions 2 to 3 times a day and make sure those pieces are crushed up small enough to actually fit in their tiny mouths.
You absolutely have to keep them in a school of at least 7 or 8. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a mandatory shoaling requirement. A solitary Ember Tetra is a highly stressed Ember Tetra. Being surrounded by their buddies drastically drops their anxiety and helps them settle into your tank. Plus, honestly, a coordinated, shimmering school of these bright red fish looks totally incredible. Since they occupy the middle of the water column, bottom dwellers like pygmy catfish make fantastic roommates. Other great tank mates include hatchetfish, dwarf cichlids, resboras, neon tetras, and even aquarium-safe shrimp and snails. You're basically looking for peaceful community fish of a similar size. The obvious rule? No large or aggressive predators. Your tetras are bite-sized, so don't put them in with anything that might view them as a snack.
Next up, Section 5, sexing and breeding basics. Expanding your school. If your fish are thriving, you might want to try breeding them.
Telling males and females apart is definitely easiest when it's time to breed. The females will get this noticeably rounder, slightly oblate abdomen, and they actually have a larger internal air bladder. The males, they stay much slimmer and have a noticeably smaller air bladder. Spotting those physical differences is step 1 to expanding your school.
Since they're free-spawning fish, breeding requires a controlled environment. Step 1 is setting up a separate, small aquarium using water directly from your main tank so the transition is seamless. Next, keep the lighting dim and use incredibly weak filtration to protect the tiny fry. You want the temperature warm, around 80 to 82 degrees with a neutral pH, and you'll want to feed them live foods for about 2 weeks beforehand to kickstart the spawning. And step 4 is the most important. Use a breeding mesh or take the parents out immediately after they spawn. If you don't, they will absolutely eat their own fry.
Finally, Section 6, Health and Beginner Mistakes, Longevity and Disease Prevention. Let's cover the warning signs to ensure your fish hit that 2-year mark.
Keep a close eye out for dysfunctional shoaling behavior. This is when your school stops swimming together or individual fish start acting erratically. If your group is suddenly breaking apart or acting weirdly isolated, that's a massive red flag. When you pair that behavior with physical symptoms like bloating or creamy dots on their skin, you're likely looking at a parasitic infection. Catching that early is everything.
Let's also quickly review some common beginner mistakes. Number 1 is panicking when you first bring them home. They're going to act cautious and hide while they adapt. It's totally normal. Just give them a bit of space. Beyond that, the fastest ways to harm these sensitive guys are letting algae or bacteria take over from skipped maintenance, causing sudden swings in lighting, temperature, or pH, and, perhaps most common of all, overfeeding.
Overfeeding causes serious digestive issues for fish this small, which brings us to a golden rule of fish keeping. Being proactive, not reactive, is the best approach. Honestly, carefully managing those tiny portion sizes and feeding them high-quality, varied food is so much easier than trying to medicate a sick tank. Keep their water pristine, vary their diet, and keep the portions strictly controlled.
With their playful energy, intense colors, and relatively straightforward care, these tiny schooling fish are a massive win for a planted home aquarium. So, the only question left is, how are you going to design your underwater riverbed to let these fiery little swimmers truly shine? Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and happy fish keeping!